Hey everyone, and welcome to the Daily Word. I'm glad that you've joined me. And for our Daily Word today, we're going into Matthew 20, and I'd like to share with you verses 28 to 34, and then talk just a bit today about the Lord and our prayers. So if you would, hear the word of the Lord. As Jesus and his disciples left the town of Jericho, a large crowd followed behind. Two blind men were sitting beside the road. When they heard that Jesus was coming that way, they began shouting, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us." "Be quiet," the crowd yelled at them. But they only shouted louder, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us." When Jesus heard them, he stopped and called, "What do you want me to do for you?" "Lord," they said, "we want to see." Jesus felt sorry for them and touched their eyes. Instantly, they could see. Then they followed Jesus. So, would like to point out some things here. First of all, these two blind men, they come to Jesus in their struggle. It seems to me that they likely had heard that Jesus was in the area, and then when they get word that he's on his way, they begin crying out. And as they cry out to him, the crowds actually believe that they're bothering Jesus, that somehow Jesus has more important things to do than to be bothered by these men in their struggle. And the thing is, sometimes, I've had people say this to me, sometimes we feel that way about ourselves in our prayer life, that maybe what we're praying about is trivial. Folks will say things like, I know that God has bigger things to worry about than what's going on with me. And the truth is, though, the truth is that the Lord does have time. And so let's not be to ourselves like the crowd is. The crowd says, be quiet, right? And sometimes we do that to ourselves. We sort of stifle our own prayer lives. We don't think that what we're going through is maybe important enough, that God has time, that God cares. And I want to invite you to notice two words here in response to these men and their cry to Jesus. Two words, he stopped. He stopped. He was actually on the way to Jerusalem. He's on the way, he knows, to the cross. And yet, as important, as significant, obviously, cosmically significant as the cross is, he stopped. He heard them. He gave his attention to them. And then he asked this question, and I want to invite you to think about, to imagine, to know that the Lord asked you this question. What do you want me to do for you? The thing is, not only does Jesus hear, and he stops, he wants to hear from them. And this, to me, is a strong indication of the fact that the Lord wants a relationship with us. Jesus knew what was wrong with them. He knew what was on their hearts. And so he could have just stopped, said a word, they'd be healed, he'd move on. But instead, he engages them. He actually wants them to share their heart, their desires, their struggle with him, wants them to share what's going on with them, with Jesus. And so he wants this relationship. And then it says, and consider what this communicates about Jesus and his heart for us. Jesus felt sorry for them. So he gives them his attention. He wants to hear from them. He wants this relationship, and his heart goes out to them. He has compassion for them. He feels sorry for them. He actually cares, and even in a way feels their pain. And we can know, therefore, that Jesus is not indifferent to our suffering. And so however the Lord answers our prayers, we can know that He is with us, that we have His attention, that He wants to walk with us through this life until we meet Him in the next. You may have noticed that Jesus actually, He touched them. He could have just said the word, but there was something that they needed that He wanted to give them, and that is they needed His touch. The Lord is with us. The Lord wants a relationship with us of intimacy. He wants to care for us. He wants to touch us with His presence, and He feels for us, and He responds to us in love. We can know that His will is always directed to our good and to what it is that we truly need. Not just what we think we need or what would be right, but as we come to know Jesus more and more, we understand that His will is always directed toward our good. Thanks be to God. Amen. Amen. And friends, until we get a chance to speak again, I want you to know that I pray that God would bless you and that He would keep you.